You say you want to change your life, but every time there's an excuse waiting right behind your dreams. I'm tired, I don't have time, I'll start tomorrow. Guess what? Tomorrow never comes for those who keep waiting. You don't need more chances, you need more courage, no more excuses. It's time to focus on yourself fully, fiercely and fearlessly. Stop blaming, start becoming. It sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing most people will ever do. Because blaming is easy, it's comforting, it makes you feel like you're not responsible for where you are. But becoming means taking full responsibility for your life. Every heartbreak, every failure, every mistake, and saying, yes, this happened, but now it's my turn to rise. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself saying, I could have done better if they supported me, or I'd be further ahead if life was fair? We all do it. We all have moments when we want to shift the blame. Maybe your parents didn't believe in your dreams. Maybe your boss overlooked your talent. Maybe someone broke your heart and left you questioning your worth. But let's be honest, blaming them won't change your story. It only delays your growth. You can't move forward while your eyes are fixed on what went wrong. The moment you stop pointing fingers, you start pointing yourself toward progress. There's a story of a girl who always blamed her parents for not letting her study abroad. Years later, when she finally saved enough money to travel, she realized something. It was never about permission. It was about fear. Fear of failing, fear of being uncomfortable, fear of stepping out of her known world. She spent years blaming others when the only thing holding her back was her own hesitation. The day she stopped blaming, her life took off. That's the thing about blame. It keeps you in one place, repeating the same story. Becoming breaks that cycle. We live in a world where people romanticize excuses. I can't go to the gym because I'm busy. I can't start that business because I don't have investors. I can't be happy because of what someone did to me. But listen carefully. People who become something in life are never waiting for perfect conditions. They work through the storms. They build while they're bleeding. They fight while they're tired. Because they understand that life will never hand you peace before you've earned it. You don't need ideal circumstances. You need an unshakable mindset. When you stop blaming, your vision clears. Suddenly you start seeing possibilities where there used to be problems. You start realizing that your biggest challenge isn't your circumstances. It's your attitude toward them. Imagine two people stuck in the same traffic jam. One curses everyone on the road, blames the city and ruins their day. The other plugs in some music, breathes and uses the time to reflect or plan. Same situation, different reaction. The one who refuses to blame takes control of their emotions, and that's where power begins. Sometimes people blame others because it's easier than facing themselves. It's easier to say, he made me angry, instead of admitting, I let his words control my peace. It's easier to say life is unfair, instead of saying, maybe I need to work harder. But remember, every time you shift blame outward, you hand your power to someone else. The moment you take it back, life starts responding differently. You stop being a victim of your story, and you start being the author of it. There's a powerful truth most people ignore. Growth and blame cannot coexist. You can't grow and complain at the same time. One of them has to die for the other to live. If you're serious about becoming the best version of yourself, you have to kill your excuses and bury your blame. Because blame will always keep you stuck in yesterday. Becoming will push you toward tomorrow. Think about your favorite successful people. The actors, the athletes, the leaders. Do you think they didn't have reasons to quit? Of course they did. But instead of saying, I can't because they said I will, no matter what. That shift in language changes everything. When you start owning your story, even the painful parts, something magical happens. You stop waiting for others to fix you. You stop depending on people to make things right. You become your own healer, your own motivator, your own hero. Take a small daily example. Let's say you're late to work because of traffic. Most people will walk in and say, it's not my fault, the traffic was horrible. But a person who's focused on becoming will say, I should have left earlier. That's the difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who evolves. Accountability feels heavy at first, but it's the foundation of freedom. Because when you realize that you are responsible for how your life turns out, you also realize that you have the power to change it. There's a fire that awakens inside you when you stop blaming. You begin to see rejection as redirection. You start seeing pain as preparation. You start understanding that everything that happened to you wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to define you. You start walking with a quiet confidence because you no longer need sympathy. You need results. That's the power of becoming. It transforms pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom, and obstacles into opportunities. One day someone will ask you how you made it through all the chaos, all the failures, all the nights you felt broken. And you'll smile and say, because I stopped blaming others and started building myself. That's when you know you've shifted. You've crossed from being a victim of your life to being the creator of it. Because people who blame stay behind. People who become move mountains. And the world always remembers the ones who became. Focus is the new fame. In a world where everyone is desperate to be seen, the real power lies in those who quietly build. Today, people crave attention more than achievement. They want likes before legacy, followers before focus. But here's the truth. Fame fades, focus lasts. Because focus doesn't chase applause. It creates results so undeniable that applause becomes inevitable. When you learn to shut out the noise, you unlock a version of yourself the world can't ignore. Look around. Distractions are everywhere. The moment you pick up your phone, 10 different things fight for your attention, messages, notifications, trending reels, breaking news. Everyone is trying to drag your mind somewhere else. And the scary part, most people let it happen. They let their focus be rented out by everything around them. But the ones who succeed, truly succeed, are those who take their attention back. They know how to say, not now. They know how to protect their time like treasure. Because they understand that what you focus on grows. If you focus on drama, drama grows. If you focus on excuses, excuses multiply. But if you focus on growth, confidence, discipline, those things start blooming inside you. Think about it. When was the last time you sat down to work on something important and your mind didn't wander after 5 minutes? You check your phone, scroll through random videos, think about what someone said or replay an argument. That's not harmless. That's a thief. Every distraction is stealing pieces of your greatness. Every unnecessary thought is delaying your destiny. People say they don't have time to chase their dreams, but the truth is, they do. They're just spending it chasing distractions. There's a saying, where your focus goes, your energy flows. You can't build an empire if your attention is scattered. The difference between those who talk about success and those who achieve it is focus. Imagine 2 students. Both have the same intelligence, the same potential. One studies for an hour with full focus. The other studies for 4 hours but keeps checking their phone every few minutes. Who do you think learns more? The one who respects their focus. Because time doesn't create excellence. Attention does. Fame today is noisy. Everyone's talking, posting, shouting their worth. But focus is silent. It whispers power. The world may not notice you while you're working in silence, but one day they'll be shocked by your results. That's what makes focus so magnetic. It's not about showing off the process, it's about perfecting the process. When people are busy seeking validation, you're busy mastering your craft. And eventually, the same people who ignored you will ask how you did it. Think about the athletes who train before sunrise, when no one's watching. Think about the artist who paints for hours without posting every brushstroke online. Think about the student who studies in silence while others complain about luck. They're not chasing claps, they're chasing clarity. They're not trying to impress anyone, they're trying to improve themselves. And that's why focus eventually makes you unforgettable. Fame is temporary. Focus is timeless. Every successful person you admire, whether it's an actor, a leader, or an entrepreneur, they all mastered the art of focus. They had a vision so clear that distractions couldn't seduce them. They didn't need the world's approval because they were too busy becoming their best version. When someone asked them, "Why are you so quiet?" they smiled and said, "Because I'm working." That's what focus sounds like, silence that builds. Let's take an example from daily life. Imagine you're at the gym. Half the people are on their phones between sets, taking selfies, scrolling reels. The other half have their headphones on, eyes locked in, breathing heavy, mind on fire. Guess who transforms faster? The ones who came to focus, not to be noticed. Because your body, your dreams, your goals, they all respond to focus, not to noise. Focus isn't just about attention, it's about alignment. It's choosing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's saying no to 99 things so you can say yes to the one thing that will change your life. People who lack focus keep starting over because they keep switching directions. But people with focus move slower, deeper, and stronger. They know that success doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing one thing with everything you've got. And yes, it's lonely sometimes. Focus isolates you. When you stop engaging in meaningless drama, when you stop posting every move online, people start saying, "You've changed." But that's the point. You're not supposed to stay the same. Growth requires distance. Discipline demands silence. Focus needs solitude. Because clarity doesn't come in chaos. It comes when you step away from the noise long enough to hear your own voice. When you master focus, you stop chasing the spotlight because you realize the light was within you all along. You don't need the world to see your effort right now. You just need to keep showing up, keep refining, keep improving. Because the day your preparation meets the right opportunity, the world will call it luck. But you'll know it was focus all along. And when that moment comes, you'll look back and thank yourself for every night you stayed consistent instead of scrolling, every morning you chose discipline over comfort, every day you protected your vision from distractions. You'll realize fame never made you great. Focus did. Because while fame fades when the applause stops, focus keeps you winning long after the noise is gone. Excuses are just elegant lies. Lies we tell ourselves so we can stay comfortable, unchallenged, and unchanged. They sound intelligent, even logical. They protect our ego, but they poison our growth. You've said them before. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. I'm not ready yet. But deep down you know the truth. It's not that you can't, it's that you won't. Excuses aren't born from limitation, they're born from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. Yet, every excuse is just another brick in the wall between you and your potential. Think about it. When someone says, "I don't have time," it's rarely true. We all have the same 24 hours. The only difference is what we prioritize. The person who says they can't work out because they're busy spends an hour scrolling through social media. The one who says they can't start a business because they lack resources spends money on things that bring temporary comfort. Excuses are clever. They dress up laziness in logic. They let you sleep peacefully at night while quietly killing your progress. A man once said, "If it's important, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse." And that's the painful truth. The mind loves comfort, and excuses are its blanket. They let you stay in your safe zone while convincing you that you're doing your best. But the world doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. It doesn't matter how valid your excuses sound, the universe only responds to action. You can spend your entire life explaining why you didn't start, or you can start and let your results speak for you. Let's take an example. Imagine someone who wants to write a book. Every year they say, "I'll start when I have more time." Years pass, and the story remains unwritten. Then one day they meet someone who wrote a book while working 2 jobs and raising kids. What's the difference? Focus and honesty. The second person didn't let excuses drive their life. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created them. Because success never waits for convenience. It belongs to those who show up even when it's hard, even when it's messy. Excuses often sound noble. I can't leave my job, I have responsibilities. I can't chase my dream, I have bills. But behind every excuse lies a fear we don't want to face. It's easier to hide behind logic than to confront insecurity. The woman who says, "I'm not ready to love again," is really saying, "I'm afraid to be hurt again." The man who says, "I can't start over," is really saying, "I'm afraid I'll fail again." Excuses aren't weakness, they're fear in disguise, and the moment you name that fear, it starts losing its power. You know what's ironic? The people who have the most excuses usually have the most potential. Because the mind that creates elaborate reasons for inaction is the same mind that can create miracles when disciplined. It's just a matter of direction. You can use your intelligence to explain why something can't be done, or you can use it to find a way to do it. Every time you choose the second, you grow. Every time you choose the first, you shrink. Excuses also feed comparison. You look at someone doing better than you and say, they had it easier. But you never see their late nights, their sacrifices, their silent battles. Excuses make you feel better for not trying. They protect your pride, but they destroy your progress. Instead of saying, I can't because they're luckier, ask yourself, what would happen if I gave the same energy to effort instead of envy? That one question can shift your life. Here's a simple example. Imagine two friends who decide to get fit. The first one sticks to a routine. No matter how busy, they make it happen. The second keeps saying, I'll start next week. After a few months, the first one has transformed. The second one has stories. That's what excuses do. They give you stories instead of results. And the world is already full of people with stories about what they could have been. The ones who rise are those who stop lying to themselves. Sometimes excuses come disguised as self-care. I need rest, I'm protecting my peace. And yes, rest matters, but there's a fine line between resting and avoiding. The difference in tension. Rest to recover, not to escape. Protect your peace by growing, not by hiding, because there's no peace in knowing you could have done more but didn't. Excuses may protect your comfort today, but they'll haunt your confidence tomorrow. Think of a musician who says, I'll record my songs when I get better equipment. A year later, someone else releases an album recorded on a phone, and it blows up. That's the thing. Excuses wait for perfection, while achievers work with what they have. The more you delay, the more your dreams decay. You don't need better tools, you need better discipline. You don't need approval, you need accountability. Because every time you blame circumstances, you give them power over your destiny. Every excuse steals a little piece of your self-belief. Every time you say, I can't, your mind listens and starts believing it. But when you say, I'll find a way, your brain switches from defense to offense. It starts searching for solutions instead of explanations. That's how winners think. They don't deny their limitations, they work around them. They don't waste time convincing others why it's hard. They prove that it's possible. The truth is, your dreams don't care about your excuses. The universe won't adjust its blessings to fit your fears. You either move or you don't. The day you stop sugarcoating your inaction, everything changes. Because once you see your excuses for what they are, beautiful lies meant to keep you ordinary, you'll realize you've been holding yourself back all along. And that realization hits hard, but it's the beginning of power. When you drop excuses, you pick up freedom. And when you pick up freedom, nothing can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Protect your energy like gold, because it is. Your energy is your life force, your spirit, your fire. Everything you attract, create, and experience comes from the quality of your energy. When it's high, you shine. When it's drained, you lose yourself. Yet most people give away their energy carelessly, to negativity, drama, gossip, and people who don't deserve even a second of their peace. You can't build a powerful life if you keep spending your power on things that weaken you. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's sacred. It's a declaration that your peace matters more than someone's opinion of you. Think about your phone. You don't let it die, right? You charge it, protect it, handle it carefully because you know it runs your day. But your mind and spirit, you drain them daily, scrolling through negativity, arguing with people, trying to fix everyone else, saying yes when your soul is screaming no, and then you wonder why you feel exhausted. The truth is, you don't need more motivation, you need more protection from energy leaks that quietly rob you of strength. There are people who will walk into your life and drain you without even realizing it. The ones who only call when they need something. The ones who dump their problems on you but vanish when you need support. The ones who disguise manipulation as love. You feel heavy after talking to them, don't you? That's not coincidence. That's energy transfer. And if you don't set boundaries, they'll keep taking until there's nothing left of you. Protecting your energy means learning to say, I care about you, but I care about me too. One of the biggest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone deserves access to you. You can love people from a distance, you can wish them well without letting them drain your peace. Every time you let someone disturb your mental state, you're trading your energy for their chaos. And that's the worst bargain you can make. You have to stop entertaining people who thrive on confusion and drama. Not every battle deserves your presence, and not every comment deserves your response. Sometimes silence is the most powerful way to protect your energy. Let's take a real example. Imagine you wake up full of motivation, ready to conquer the day. You check your phone, see a negative comment, or read some gossip about you. Instantly, your mood changes. You start thinking about it, replaying it in your head, defending yourself mentally. Hours pass and your focus is gone. That's how energy leaks work. Small things steal big power. The people who rise in life aren't those who never face negativity. They're the ones who don't let negativity infect their energy. Protecting your energy also means saying no and meaning it. Saying no to overcommitting, to toxic relationships, to conversations that go nowhere. You don't owe your presence to everyone who demands it. You owe it to yourself to protect your peace. Some people will call you distant, some will call you arrogant, but that's fine. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries will always be offended when you finally set them. The moment you stop explaining your worth, you stop being drained by proving it. Think of energy like money. Every conversation, every thought, every worry is a transaction. Are you investing it wisely or are you wasting it? You wouldn't hand cash to someone who constantly loses it, so why give your time and peace to people who don't value it? The most successful people guard their energy like their life depends on it. Because it does. That's why they wake up early, meditate, limit who they spend time with, and keep their inner circle small. They know peace is not luxury, it's power. Sometimes you have to disconnect to reconnect. Walk away from noise, from endless scrolling, from people who compete instead of connect. Spend time alone. Not because you're antisocial, but because solitude recharges you. When you spend too much time around others, you start absorbing their emotions, fears, and insecurities. Alone, you return to your essence. You remember who you are without all the noise. Protecting your energy means choosing solitude over fake company, peace over popularity, and authenticity over approval. Even in daily life, maybe at work, you'll meet people who gossip all day, complain about everything, and spread negativity like perfume. You have two choices. Join them or guard yourself. Smile, stay polite, but don't engage. Because the more you feed that energy, the more it grows. Protecting your energy doesn't mean being rude. It means being intentional. You choose where your attention goes, because that's where your energy flows. There's a kind of power in people who stay calm in chaos. They don't react, they respond. They don't absorb others' emotions, they filter them. That calmness isn't weakness, it's strength under control. When you stop letting the world dictate your mood, you start mastering your life. You can't control what others say or do, but you can control what you give your energy to. Protecting your energy means understanding that not everything deserves your fire. Some things only deserve your absence. There's beauty in being selective with your access. You don't have to explain your peace to people who profit from your chaos. The quieter you become, the clearer your path gets. Protecting your energy is not about isolation, it's about elevation. When you start guarding your inner peace, you begin to glow differently. Your thoughts sharpen, your intuition strengthens, your confidence expands. People notice your silence, but what they don't realize is that your silence is full of power. Energy is invisible, but its impact is undeniable. You feel it when you walk into a room, when you talk to someone, when you wake up in the morning. Guard it like gold. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing peace over people, clarity over chaos, or growth over gossip. Your energy builds your reality. The more you protect it, the more powerful your life becomes. The world owes you nothing. Not sympathy, not opportunity, not understanding, not validation, nothing. And the sooner you accept that truth, the freer you become. Too many people walk around feeling entitled to success, respect, or love just because they've struggled. But struggle isn't a qualification, it's preparation. The world doesn't hand out rewards for effort, it responds to results. You can cry about how unfair life is, or you can get up and make it fair by the way you move. Because the harsh truth is, no one's coming to save you. You are your own rescue plan. We grow up believing that if we're good, kind, and hardworking, life will naturally reward us. But look around. Good people get hurt, hardworking people get ignored, and kind hearts get taken advantage of. That's not injustice, that's reality. The world isn't fair, it's neutral. It doesn't care about your feelings, it only cares about your focus. You can either spend your energy demanding fairness, or you can use that same energy to create your own path. When you stop expecting the world to treat you gently, you start becoming unstoppable. Think about it. How many times have you said, I deserve better? Maybe you do. But the world doesn't give people what they deserve, it gives people what they are demanded through action. You can't just want a good life, you have to work relentlessly for it. You can't just pray for opportunities, you have to prepare so fiercely that when they show up, you're ready to own them. Life doesn't owe you a chance. You earn it by refusing to quit. The moment you stop expecting things to come easy, everything begins to shift. Imagine two people starting at the same place. One keeps complaining, no one helps me, no one sees my potential. The other silently works, learns, adapts, and grows. 5 years later, the silent one is shining, and the complainer is still stuck. That's not luck, that's mindset. The one who understood that the world owes them nothing took control of their story. The one who waited for recognition remained invisible. You can either spend your life waiting for someone to notice your worth, or you can make your worth impossible to ignore. We've been conditioned to expect acknowledgement for everything. A medal for trying, a pat on the back for showing up. But life doesn't work like school. Out here, no one claps for you until you've earned it. And sometimes, even then, no one will. That's why you must learn to clap for yourself. Applaud your small victories. Celebrate your growth in silence. Because if your motivation depends on external validation, you'll burn out fast. True power comes from moving with or without applause. There's a man who spent 10 years trying to make his business work. Every investor turned him down. His family told him to get a real job, but instead of crying about how unfair the world was, he decided to outwork it. He kept learning, improving, and showing up every day, even when no one cared. Today his name is known across industries. That's the thing. The world didn't owe him a breakthrough, but his consistency forced it to happen. He didn't wait for doors to open. He built new ones. That's what happens when you stop expecting and start executing. The world owes you nothing for your pain either. You may have suffered deeply, but your pain doesn't automatically entitle you to peace or success. It's what you do with that pain that defines you. You can let it turn you bitter or let it make you better. Every person you admire has gone through something you couldn't imagine, but instead of expecting sympathy, they turned their pain into purpose. The world didn't hand them healing, they created it. Think about relationships. You can give your best, love deeply, stay loyal, and still be betrayed. You can be kind to everyone and still be disrespected. That's life. People don't always reciprocate what you give. But that doesn't mean you stop giving, it means you stop expecting. When you expect nothing, you'll never be disappointed, only surprised. Love people, but don't depend on them for happiness. Help people, but don't destroy yourself to save them. The world doesn't owe you loyalty just because you were loyal. You give because that's who you are, not because you expect it back. In daily life, this truth shows up everywhere. You could work in a company for years, give your best, and still be replaced tomorrow. That's not betrayal, it's business. So don't get too comfortable thinking your effort guarantees security. Always be building yourself, upgrading your skills, and creating your own opportunities. The world respects independence, not entitlement. When you stop expecting anyone to provide for you, you become dangerous in the best way, because now you can't be controlled. It's easy to say, I worked hard, I deserve success. But effort doesn't automatically equal results. The gym doesn't reward you for showing up, it rewards you for pushing through pain. The world is the same. You can put in years of work and still not see results immediately. That's not unfairness, that's process. Too many people quit because they think the world owes them quick success. But nothing worth having comes without patience. The world owes you nothing, but it will reflect your persistence. Keep showing up and eventually it will have no choice but to acknowledge your grind. Every person who rose from nothing understood this truth deeply. They didn't wait for life to hand them power. They built it from the ground up. They stopped expecting people to understand their vision and started proving it through action. The world doesn't move for those who wait, it moves for those who act. The sooner you stop expecting the world to treat you a certain way, the faster you start creating the life you've always imagined. Because once you accept that no one owes you anything, not your parents, not your friends, not your job, not even life itself, that's when you become unstoppable. Stop waiting for life to be fair. Stop expecting people to understand your pain or recognize your effort. The world may never clap for you when you win quietly, and it may never comfort you when you fall. But that's your power. You are not here to be understood. You are here to become unstoppable. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. The moment you stop expecting the world to owe you something, the world starts respecting you for earning everything. Every great person you admire, from legends to leaders, began in silence, doubted, unseen, and uncelebrated. They didn't wait for someone to give them a chance. They became the chance. They didn't say, I hope they notice me. They said, I'll make it impossible to ignore me. Remember this, then nobody is coming to hand you the life you want. You build it, brick by brick, day by day. When the world says, you can't, you reply, watch me. When they walk away, you whisper, that's fine, I was built to walk alone. When they doubt you, let their doubt become your fuel. Let their silence become your motivation. The truth is, you don't grow in comfort, you grow in chaos. You grow in the moments when nobody believes in you, when you cry quietly at night, when you wake up tired but still choose to keep going. That's where your power is forged. You are not behind, you are in training. You are not losing, you are learning. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt for something greater. Life doesn't owe you ease, it offers you evolution. And the only way to honor that gift is to rise every single time you fall. When people tell you it's impossible, smile. Because impossible is just a word people use to describe what they can't do. When they say you've changed, take it as a compliment. It means you stopped living for them. When they call you selfish for focusing on your peace, understand that they benefited from your lack of boundaries. Protect your energy, protect your focus, protect your dreams, because that's your empire. You are allowed to walk away from what drains you. You are allowed to outgrow people who no longer align with your purpose. You are allowed to prioritize yourself. That's not arrogance, that's awareness.away, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yourself first, then let your overflow inspire others. Stop explaining your worth. Stop proving your goodness. Your peace doesn't require an audience, and your success doesn't need validation. Life is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating one from the chaos. It's about standing tall even when the wind tries to break you. It's about turning your pain into poetry, your rejection into redirection, your loneliness into power. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you believe, and more capable than you realize. Don't ask for opportunities, build them. You don't wait for love, become it. Don't hope for light, be the fire. You owe it to yourself to stop shrinking just to make others comfortable. You owe it to yourself to walk like you belong in every room you enter. You owe it to yourself to live loud, dream unapologetically, and fight for your destiny like your life depends on it, because it does. The world may not owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Your growth, your peace, your purpose, your greatness. So stand up, take that step, cut the excuses, silence the noise. Build that version of you that doesn't need anyone's permission. Because when you finally stop waiting for the world to give you what you deserve, that's when you realize you were always the power, you were always the answer, you were always enough. Ye, and remember this. Heir of the world doesn't give crowns. It notices queens who built their own.